Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, has been doing a little shopping of his own. For sale, one American newspaper, famed for bringing down President Nixon in the 70s, but recently in trouble thanks to the internet. Yours for $250 million in cash. A great opportunity, but new owner must be willing to accept losses. Sound risky enough? Jeff Bezos has done it before. OK, so he hasn't bought a newspaper, but the Amazon boss has built a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And he understands the internet, the key to the Washington Post's future. That at least was the pitch to stunned staff when the news was announced.
The internet is transforming almost every element of the news business, shortening news cycles, eroding long, reliable revenue sources, enabling new kinds of competition, some of which bear little or no news gathering costs.
We're the people with a smile on the box.
And the man behind the Kindle is, of course, right.
Sales at the Washington Post, like every other newspaper, have plummeted in recent years as advertisers spend more of their dollars online. Papers, including the Post, have tried to stop the rot by charging for online subscriptions. But with so much news available on the web and Twitter for free, the future looks bleak.
Something Bezos would have discussed with the paper's boss Donald Graham when they met less than a month ago.
This year, 2013, would be the 7th straight year of significant declining revenues. We've innovated a lot, and if I look back all those years, I'm amazed and impressed by how successful our innovations have been in audience and quality, but the revenues we've got from those innovations haven't offset the continued pounding decline.
Of course, Don Graham isn't just any CEO. He's a member of the same family that have owned the paper since buying it out of bankruptcy in 1933. In the 70s, it was floated on the stock exchange and published what is still its most famous story. Immortalized in film, the theft of government documents from the Watergate offices in Washington would eventually lead to the resignation of President Nixon.
This whole thing is a cover-up. It's right on our nose.
And cement the paper and its two investigative reporters, Woodward and Bernstein, into history. Many thought the Grahams would never sell the paper, but former senior execs say they trust the decision.
I think it's actually potentially really exciting news for the Washington Post, and it's an indication of the Graham family's, sort of deep care for the institution of the Post, because they're essentially giving it to a steward for the next generation.
So what will Mr. Bezos do? He admitted yesterday there was no clear plan yet.
There is no map, and charting a path ahead will not be easy. We'll need to invent, which means we will need to experiment.
But experimentation is what he does best. Remember, this is the man who started Amazon in his garage with a loan from his parents and became Time magazine's Person of the Year just 5 years later. He said risk is a necessary component of progress. And it doesn't get much riskier than spending $250 million of your own cash buying a newspaper with declining sales. But Bezos loves a challenge.
He's obsessed with consumer behavior, analyzing consumer behavior and responding to consumer behavior effectively to run his business. He doesn't run a business to make short-term profits. He runs businesses for the long term. He runs sustainable businesses. And that is the biggest challenge that a newspaper business like the Washington Post faces today.
Post insiders were quick to air their views on Twitter yesterday. "Have I mentioned I love Amazon?" said one. "Pretty emotional to watch Don Graham announce he is selling the Post. A sad, historic moment," said another. And this, which seemed to sum up the mood of most: "Holy smokes."